Hello, this is StudMuffin1986 and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video on the upcoming tank, brand new Italian line, the Progetto 65. After doing a lot of in-depth research about this tank actually has a lot of really interesting things about it. Some things I'm actually quite excited for. For me personally, I'm actually really looking forward to this thing. And even a few of you out there that have been playing some Tier 10 might have already seen this thing on the battlefield. There's no official videos yet. Those that have this tank, Wargaming, that have given these tanks to, they're not allowed to really come out, I believe, with any information on it. But we can really splice things together, dive into a lot of this data that we're able to find, and just go over some predictions on what to expect when this tank comes out based on current data that we're able to find in the system. So this tank, one of the things that definitely stood out to me was the DPM. This thing has easily the highest DPM of any Tier 10 tank I've seen, easily higher than by at least, I think, like 500 DPM, but on average about an additional 1,000 DPM higher than most tanks. This thing is going to be dishing out damage like nobody's business. This thing is definitely not something you're going to want to get into a one-on-one brawl with. From what I understand, this thing is going to bring a new dynamic to the game with its autoloader. It's going to actually be working a little bit differently in the way that you can just unload your 3 rounds, just tap, 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 and you don't have to wait like you do with other or other autoloaders. That could be wrong. I could be off on that. But now looking at this thing, even from an armor perspective, it's not impressive. But the thing that is impressive is the angling of this armor. Even though this thing doesn't have a lot of armor, it's angled very well. So, I mean, even from the front, trying to shoot this hole because of the degree it's at, this thing actually can bounce rounds. And the turret is strong enough that you're not going to have to worry so much about being penned by HE rounds. I did take a look at the penetration from a lot of different tanks, and it doesn't quite have enough to penetrate the front of the turret, unless, however, you're facing the British medium, which you definitely have to be careful of, or the FV-183. So DPM, holy crap, this thing is impressive with DPM. The other thing is shell velocity. So it does have a much slower shell velocity, meaning your rounds are going to take a bit longer to get there. In terms of like maneuverability and speed, it's going to be kind of somewhat similar to the Leopard, which is impressive, but not quite as fast, as this thing's engine power is not as good as the Leopard. But definitely faster than the M48 Patton, but yeah, not quite as fast as the Batchat or the Leopard. But the nice thing is the view range is better than the Leopard, just as good as the M48 Patton. So what to expect there, and it has better camo. Better camo than the Leopard, which is also very impressive. So this tank, in my opinion, is probably going to be a little OP. You know, if it comes out and it's like this. If that is the case, when this thing comes out, I will be excited for this tank. I think it'll be really fun to just hear a new nation's language. And just kind of like just the fun new dynamic to the game with the gun. When you're looking at the sides and the rear of this thing, that's where you're going to get penned with Hesh quite a bit. You don't have a lot of armor. Now, if they hit you down here on the tracks with Hesh from the side, you're going to be lucky, most likely. But anywhere up above or in the back of the turret, behind, you're just going to take the full brunt of it, most likely. To ammo rack this thing, the ammo is in the back of the turret, so that is one thing you do have to be pretty careful of. They also have some ammo just at the bottom of the tank. But very impressive. Like, this is going to be a very impressive tank, I think. The shell velocity, I would say, is the only thing I'm concerned about. But from how I've seen this thing, I've only seen it in a couple of times just with some games. And yeah, it's been a little bit of a beast. I mean, granted that the players that have access to this tank are definitely better than the average player. So, but I can see this tank definitely being a lot of fun. So anyway, this is Stud Muffin 1986. Just some predictions on the Progetto 65, brand new Italian line coming out just for the tier 10. And hope you enjoy this video, and we'll see you around next time.